What's going on, everybody? Welcome into the Bulls Report. My name is Patrick Seatman, and I'll be your host for today's show. And coming up on today's show, we're going to be talking about Ayo Dosunmu and if a potential breakout could be coming for him in year 3 of his NBA career. There's been a lot of viral clips of him working on his game, working on his three-point shot, so we'll be breaking that down and more. Then we're also going to be talking about Seth Curry. Harvey Glassbrook connected the Chicago Bulls to potentially be signing him during NBA free agency. Obviously, the Bulls have a need for shooting, and Seth Curry definitely checks that box. So we'll be talking about that and all that and more on today's show. But let's start off with what Daniel Greenberg said, because this is pretty big news on Andre Drummond. So Andre Drummond said on the I Am Athlete pod that he plans to pick up his player option to return to the Chicago Bulls in the 2023-2024 season. And this was the direct quote. Drummond said, "I enjoy where I'm at. I love playing in Chicago, and I really love being in Chicago." And this is great news to me because I thought Andre Drummond, even though his stats from this past year won't blow you away, but it was the impact he had later on in the season when he was finally getting consistent minutes, and especially that play-in game against the Miami Heat. Like that play-in game against the Miami Heat, Drummond and Kobe White were the two best players for the Chicago Bulls. And obviously Drummond, 6 points, 6 rebounds, not really the same rim protector that he once was. But I think Drummond brings that intensity and kind of that spark plug off the bench. And honestly, I do want to kind of talk about this. I wonder if this impacts Nikola Vucevic at all. With obviously Drummond opting into his player option, he will be there next season. Like, I wonder if this is kind of the Bulls management kind of looking at this and be like, I wonder if we could run Andre Drummond as our starting center, and maybe you do have a chance to move off Vooch. We're not going to be kind of putting all that money into Nikola Vucevic, and maybe this could kind of impact the Bulls into just saying, you know what, let's run with Andre Drummond. He had a great second half of his season. Let's kind of go all in on him, and then maybe you draft a guy or trade up in the draft and take a backup center in any sort of way. But I do wonder if this does impact the Nikola Vucevic free agency. But guys, make sure you are subscribed because any news on Nikola Vucevic that comes out, we got you. We'll have a video for you guys ASAP. If you just want to become a more informed Bulls fan, just hit that subscribe button. It'll pretty much tell YouTube to throw more Chicago Bulls content your way, and we'll be your one-stop shop for Bulls news, rumors, whatever it may be. So hit that subscribe button right now. But now let's talk about it. Let's talk about the Chicago Bulls' latest news and rumors around the team. We're going to start off with Ayo Dosunmu. Ayo Dosunmu has had a shaky start to his NBA career. He really came onto the scene in his rookie year, and he was great. And I kind of want to highlight the efficiency numbers here at the bottom of your screen, especially that three-point percentage. In his 2021 campaign, in his rookie season, Ayo was shooting 37.5% from three, and it really took a hit in his second year, dropping all the way down to 31.2%. So that's the biggest question mark with Ayo. I think is his three-point shooting. Obviously, we understand how big three-point shooting is in the modern-day NBA, but points stayed relatively the same. He did increase his usage rate just a little bit in his second year, which is what we love to see. But overall, his efficiency dropped from 52% to 49, and then, like I said, 37.5 all the way down to 31. But the thing I love about Ayo is we can throw this is him in high school, actually, in Chicago, played at Morgan Park. We know Morgan Park has a history of producing great Chicago point guards. Marcus LeVette, I mean, the list goes on and on of just great Chicago point guards that come from Morgan Park. And then obviously he took his game to the University of Illinois, and he was great there. I mean, him and Kofi Cockburn, they were one of the best 1-2 duos in college basketball, and we really saw Ayo kind of step on the scene at Illinois, and I was shocked that, a guy coming out of, I think he was a 3-star coming out of high school, and he was one of the best players in the country for a good stretch there at Illinois, and then obviously the Bulls took a chance on him in the second round 2 drafts ago, and overall, I am a big believer in Ayo Dosunmu. I think Ayo kind of has the traits of a modern-day point guard to really get it done. Yes, the scoring aspect of his game might not be up there with a guy like a Kobe White or a Tyrese Maxey or a Jamal Murray, but I think he's got that dog intensity that you really need to be a modern-day point guard, because I think we're seeing the revival of defense in the NBA and perimeter defense especially. We've really seen it in this NBA playoff run, especially with the Miami Heat, with guys like Caleb Martin, Jimmy Butler, what they're able to do defensively on the perimeter. That's why I'm a huge believer in Ayo. But this is what Harvey Glassbrook had to say about Ayo's offseason so far. He said, coming off his second pro campaign, where he started most of the way before getting bumped down to the reserves in favor for the more experienced Patrick Beverley late in the regular season. The Illinois product is now a restricted free agent and is bound to get some looks from other teams in need of a young, talented point guard. And overall, I want the Bulls to bring back Ayo, and I think they will. And I love this. I saw this on Twitter. I just like my point guards from Chicago. You know, there's nothing better than having the hometown kid repping the Chicago Bulls because he knew he grew up watching D. Rose, Ben Gordon, Joakim Noah, Luol Deng, that Bulls team from like the 2007s to the 2013 season. I mean, I just like my point guards from Chicago, and I thought this was pretty cool. So, Ayo, D. Rose, I'm hoping, Ayo, he comes back, and the Bulls do bring him back. But show Ayo some love because I'm a huge believer in Ayo, so spam his jersey number down in the comments section. I want to see the comment section flooded with 12s. Well, let's talk about it. The Bulls signing Seth Curry during NBA free agency. This is an interesting one that came across my screen. I absolutely kind of love it. Like, I think Seth Curry is a great NBA talent. And Harvey, again, he broke it down by saying this. Well, having the older Curry would be a dream for the Bulls. Getting the younger brother of Steph is still a great consolation prize, obviously. The 32-year-old sharpshooter has been an integral part of the Brooklyn Nets' rise to prominence in the Eastern Conference, providing dependable scoring from deep off the bench. And I will say, scoring and shooting, just in general, that is a huge need for the Chicago Bulls. We really saw them struggle shooting the three ball just consistently over this past season. Like, yes, I love guys like Patrick Williams, Caruso, Pat Bev, like the dogs defensively, but the Bulls really lacked that perimeter shooting, and we saw a lot of teams go to that kind of 2-3 flex zone against the Bulls, force them to take a lot more corner threes. It's very similar to the zone that you guys have seen the Miami Heat run in this past postseason. But I love Seth Curry, and he is a postseason player. I mean, these shooting splits are absolutely ridiculous from his last 4 postseasons. Obviously, this past year when the Nets went up against the Philadelphia 76ers in the first round of the playoffs, Seth Curry was legitimately the third, fourth option on that team, and the efficiency kind of took a dip. But if you look at that 2021, 2020, and 2019 season, I mean, he was shooting above 50% in 2 of them and 47.6% in the 2019 season, but specifically that 2020 season, 19 points per game on 57.8% from the field and 50% from 3. I'm an absolute big fan of Seth Curry, and I got some more thoughts here in a second, but I'll throw it your guys' way. Would you sign Seth Curry in NBA free agency? Let's just assume the money and the financial situation all works out. Let me know. Would you sign Seth Curry? Give me an S for sign or give me a P for pass. I would sign him. Obviously, I know the Bulls have a ton of questions of what direction they're kind of going in this offseason, but no matter what, I would sign him. That's kind of my biggest reason why. No matter what direction the Bulls end up going, having a sharpshooter like Seth Curry in the NBA is so valuable, and I think we've really seen that in this NBA postseason. Like, we've seen the stats with the Boston Celtics. Like, they were like 40-2 when they shot over 40% from 3. And just having a guy like Seth Curry just increases the floor spacing. It widens out the defense. And I do think Seth Curry will have a huge impact on no matter what team he goes to just because of his ability to shoot the ball. But we can kind of end today's show looking at where the Bulls roster stands as of right now. I do have Ayo slotted in at the starting point guard because I do think the Bulls are going to bring him back and kind of put a lot of faith in Ayo Dosunmu and kind of hope that he kind of takes that year 3 breakout that we were talking about. But then again, the questions around Zach LaVine, DeMar DeRozan, will the Bulls keep them? Will they trade them? Will they try to, go to a complete rebuild, or will they try to build around one of them and move off the other? There's a ton of questions around the Bulls. Obviously, Nikola Vucevic being the free agent, and then Patrick Williams still slotted in there at the 4. But a quick look at the bench now. Like Patrick Beverley, I wonder if they're going to bring him back. Kobe White, they got question marks around him. Obviously, know the uncertainty around Lonzo Ball. Javonte Green should be back. Derrick Jones Jr., and then you got guys like Dalen Terry. Overall, if you're looking at this roster, the Bulls need shooting. Like, they just don't have a lot of consistent shooter. Any catch-and-shoot guys. Like, looking on the screen right now, LaVine, he can shoot the 3. He's not a catch-and-shoot guy. Like, they don't have a single catch-and-shoot three-point shooter on their roster. So no matter what direction they go, I do think the Bulls bringing in Seth Curry could be an option. And guys, make sure you guys are subscribed as always. We're going to keep you posted with all Chicago Bulls news, rumors, whatever it may be during the crazy offseason, because I do expect the Bulls to be making moves. And I'll say this, I really hope the Bulls go up and try to get that number 3 overall pick. Even if it takes LaVine, go get Scoot Henderson. I'm a big fan of Scoot Henderson. I think he could be a franchise player for the Chicago Bulls. But anyways, see you guys next time. As always, go Bulls.